We created a functionality till show. Now the next thing is like I'll create a variable. So my variable will be var names equal to new set. So I'm initializing a set, so it is done. After this, I'll add the values inside the variable. So if I say my names, I'm adding up 4 names inside my set. So that will be names dot add, and then I'll say the values will be David. After this, it would be names dot add, and the values will be Jennifer. After this comes the values names dot add. The values again will be Cynthia. See, these are the dummy values which I'm adding up in my particular set. After David, Jennifer, Cynthia, the next value I would like to add is, say, for example, Mike. So this is one value I need to add. So I say Mike. And I need to add one more. Instead of 4, I would say I would like for 5 elements. So I say I will have a set with 5 members. So the last value I like to add is Raymond. So I've done with these values. After this, I'll do one thing. I'll check for a functionality that is add. So I'm going to add, or have added all the parameters. Now I will check if the value is existing or not with the functionality of add. So I'll say if names dot add, and inside this I'll say Mike. And if Mike already exists in my add element, then I'll say if it is not added, then it will print the value that Mike is added in my set list. But here in our scenario, I've already added the value as Mike. So it should print me like else console.log. It will print me that can't add Mike, comma, must already be in set. So this is the value I'm adding up over here. So I'm keeping Mike in caps. Okay. So I've specified for that functionality. Now I'll call for the show method. So I'll say console.log names.show. Okay. After this, I'll say I need to remove a particular element. Say for example, my removed element would be Mike. I want to remove Mike from my particular set. In such a scenario, I will say var removed equal to Mike, and inside this I'll say if, it will check now, if names dot remove dot, inside that I'll specify the parameter removed. If Mike is already removed, then it will print the removed value. It will check if it is removed or not. So it will print removed. So this is my removed value is. Now I'll concatenate it with the string is removed from set. Okay. Now if I call for if the removed element is already removed from my set or it is not there existing, in such a scenario it will print like this particular element is not removed. So it will say is not removed from the set. Now I will add up one more value. So since I've removed one value, that is Mike, so I'm going to add a new element over here. So the new element would be, so I'll add up with a new value inside names. So that would be names dot add, and the value will be, say, Clayton. I've added up with this value. Now the next thing is to show up for the particular name structures. For that I will say console.log. I will print up my names as names.show. I created a function with the show method, so I'll call for this method inside the console. Now after this I will say I'm going to remove one element. So I'll say I am going to remove an element which is not a member of my set. Say my name is say Alicia and my Alicia is not included in the particular set. So I'll just check out if it is there in the set or if it is not there. So in such a scenario, I will call for the remove functionality. So here it will say if names dot remove, and inside this I'll say Mike. Then I'll first of all assign a variable. So var removed equal to Alicia. This is my element which I'm going to check for inside my set. If names dot remove, it includes Mike, or if I say Alicia, I want to remove Alicia, but if it is existing, then it will print a value that console.log. The element is removed. Element is removed. On the other hand, if it is not existing, then it will say console.log. The element is not removed or the element is not present in my system. So it will say the element is not removed or it is not present in the set, in the given set. So I have done with this part. Now the next step, the final step, is to create my HTML file the way we did for arrays, for stack, for linked lists, for dictionaries as well. So the similar way we'll do over here. Here I'll create a new file and I'll save this file inside my sets as setDemo.html. Here I'll declare the basic doc type. So I'll say doc type HTML. Inside this I'll call for the HTML tag. So it will be HTML and calling for head tag. And head tag includes a meta tag. So meta char set equal to UTF-8. Then I'll call for the title tag. So that would be title set demo. Okay, with JavaScript. So now I'll call for the body tag. So my body tag includes all the logic behind it. So it will be body and here it will say script src as set demo.js. Now I have done with the script tag as well. I'll also save one h2 tag. So my h2 tag would be set illustration with JavaScript. Now the next step is to just go to our browser and check whether I'm getting the verified output or not. Before that, I would like to say this would be our first output. So our first output would be to check if the mic is already existing in our system or not. So here I'll say this would be our first output. Before that, it can also be possible to print all the names. So I'll just call for this functionality before adding up the mic element. So it will call all the members of my particular set. After that, it will call for the functionalities of add and remove, and it will add a new element which will be also visible. So every time when I call for names.show, it will print all the members of the names which are present in the given set. So let's go to our browser and analyze the output for like what all output are achieved and are we getting the same. So this is our code repository which is available in the browser. I'm also opened the console log so we can check it simultaneously. This was our new folder sets. So inside set, I'll call for set demo.html. Here the h2 tag has been printed, that is set illustration with JavaScript. Now coming out for first, that is my first log is to show all the names. So it is showing up all the names which I have added, that is David, Jennifer, Cynthia, Mike and Raymond. And next is like it is checking for the console, that is console log line number 46. So my line number 46 was adding up Mike. So I was checking if Mike is already added or not. For our system, Mike was already added, so that is why it is going to the else structure where it is printing this particular statement that can't add Mike must already be there in the set. So that is why I'm getting this particular output over here. After this comes, again I'm printing the value to check if I'm getting the values in the similar way like I have added in my system. Then I'm removing Mike from my set. So once it has removed, see, we are also checking if the Mike is being removed or not. So removed variable was Mike. So Mike is removed from my system. So that is why I'm getting the console like Mike is removed from the set. Once Mike is removed, the next fresh set where Clayton was added, Mike is not existing, which is clearly visible. Now I have created a variable named Alicia, and I am checking if we can remove this particular element from the set. But for our set, we do not have any member with this name as Alicia. So that's why we are getting a console that the element is not removed or it is not present in the set. So it is moving to line number 66. So this was the basic illustration of understanding set implementation with JavaScript. Moving on to our next topic would be to analyze the more set operations, like what all set operations which we discussed now earlier in this chapter, which involve union, intersection and difference, and also the structure of subset. So we'll have a look of that in our next chapter.